We have two more tributes to bring. First, I'll invite Professor Patrick Vernon to bring a tribute, and then we'll have a tribute from the former mayor of Brent, Bertha Joseph.
There we sat down. Yeah, we wept. We remember Zion. We're here to remember Norman, aren't we?
Amen.
We're here to remember Norman, aren't we?
Amen.
I had the privilege of getting to know Norman about 25 years ago when I worked for the NHS in Brent. I got to know many people in the community, but Norman was a special person. For some reason, he adopted me almost like his son. And I used to visit him at his home quite regularly, and Jennifer was always there for him. And then when he got used to using new technology like WhatsApp, he'd be ringing me all the time and sending messages just to check on me, which is really nice of him to do that. But I've got a message for you. We're here to celebrate his life, all of us, but also we have to remember that Norman is part of that last generation, the Windrush generation. That generation that laid the foundations for all of us here today. And we should never, never, never forget his contribution in Brent, him being a proud Jamaican. I can't hear you. And a man of faith as well. And I can remember when it came to the 70th anniversary of Windrush in 2018, Jennifer called me and said, Patrick, I hear there's a service at Westminster Abbey to commemorate the Windrush generation. Norman has to be there. Can you do anything? So, you know, pull a few strings, and there he was in Westminster Abbey. And I remember seeing him there, and he was really proud to be there, because you know why? It's taken a long time for that generation to get the acknowledgement, the respect, and to be honoured. And I've been involved with many people campaigning for the rights of the Windrush generation. And I've got this poem which I wrote recently, which I want to dedicate to, not just to Norman, but to the elders in the house as well. All those elders who are still here contributing. So the Windrush generation, they came to the mother country after the World War II. They imagined the streets were paved with gold. They were told it was land of milk and honey. They were told many things coming to Britain for a better life for themselves and their family, as well as giving financial support to loved ones back home. They had hope and stars in their eyes, clear expectations for success and achievement for themselves and their family as they came from the Caribbean and also from Africa. They arrived in ports of Tilbury, Southampton and Portsmouth, or flights from Heathrow Airport. However, the story and reality was a different thing when they landed. They were met with hostility, derogation, humiliation and violence. No blacks, no dogs, no Irish was the order of the day. Discrimination was everywhere in the workplace, housing, shopping, socialising, places of worship, and in the streets. For some, this was too much. A number went back to the Caribbean and started new lives in America or Canada. But the vast majority stayed in Britain. They had a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 15-year plan to make money and to migrate back home. However, they had relationships, marriages, children, grandchildren, and now great-great-grandchildren. The umbilical cord and anchor of belongingness settled for a better or for worse. Britain was their home. We are now approaching 5 generations of the Windrush generation in Britain today, reflecting diversity and intersectionality of black life. The first generation that came to Britain in the 40s and 50s were fighting the colour bar, but a new generation is fighting racism and climate change, a whole range of issues. This new generation builds on the foundation on the likes of Norman. So let's say thank you to Norman. Let's say thank you to the Windrush Lane generation for laying the foundation for us, and more importantly, to give us the confidence, identity and belonging as well. Norman, by the rivers of Babylon, we are thinking of you.